What's up guys, it's your wannabe watch expert DK, and before we get into the next review, let's go ahead and talk about the giveaway. So I put out on the community page and you guys have voted, and the most popular choice for the giveaway was the Casio Lineage LCW-M300. So just like with the last giveaway, I'm gonna post a picture on Instagram. If you haven't already, go there, follow, and then comment on that picture, and then that'll enter you into the drawing. Real quick, let's do a wrist check. I am rocking my newly acquired Invicta Gladiator. This watch is freaking nuts, but I absolutely love it. I will be doing a review in the near future, so stay tuned for that. And with that out of the way, let's go straight into the review. Today we are talking about the Seiko Steelmaster SPB185, or also known as the SBDC125. All right guys, today I have to play the unfortunate role as the watch police. Here we have my newly acquired Seiko SPB185, and unfortunately right now it is sitting in a petroleum solvent, so I can remove the steel bezel insert. So I had to arrest the watch and place it in petroleum prison. Why, you ask? Because the frickin' bezel insert was misaligned. This is a $1,000+ watch, guys. Why am I doing this? And now that we got that out of the way, we can start off with price. So this watch normally goes for around $1,100 to $1,400, depending on which store you're buying from. I was able to buy it online at $930, which I thought was a fantastic price. Going over the case dimensions and weight, we're looking at a diameter of 42 millimeters from the case, but then 40 millimeters if you're measuring just the bezel. A height of 13.2 millimeters, a lug to lug of 48.5 millimeters, a lug width of 20 millimeters, and a overall weight of 180 grams or 6.34 ounces with one link removed. Going back to those dimensions real quick, like I mentioned, the lug width is 20 millimeters, which is sort of a surprise because the SKX or 5KX, they have a 22 millimeter lug width, which I feel is more proportionately sound. It just looks better. Of course, that could just be my opinion, but considering the Steelmaster and SKX sort of share the same case dimensions, it was odd that they opted for a 20 millimeter lug width vice a 22. Just an observation, it's not good or bad. I just noticed that and was surprised about it. And let's go over the general info real quick. So the movement, you're getting a 6R35 movement, which is basically the 4R35's upgrade. The biggest difference here is you're gonna have a 70-hour power reserve, which I think is fantastic. Honestly, once you get used to 70 hours plus, it's really hard to get back to like the 38 power reserves, which again, there's nothing wrong with that. I've just been spoiled and I really enjoy 70 hours of power reserve. The 6R35 movement is also automatic and hacking. And as you can see at the 3 o'clock window, there is a date complication. Accuracy is rated for -15 plus 25 seconds per day. I've seen various reviews of that number fluctuating. For me, I don't really care what that means. For day-to-day practicality, it keeps time perfectly fine. That accuracy rating is assisted via the DiaShock system, which is on top of the balance spring assembly or the balance wheel assembly. So it absorbs shock and basically increases long-term reliability. Another great thing about the 6R35 is it comes with a special balance spring, which is made out of a material called SPB185. SPB185 is a cobalt, nickel, chromium, and molybdenum alloy, which gives you all of the benefits of a silicone material, but it's metal. And so, performance-wise, it probably does the same exact thing, but I prefer more metal parts in my automatic watches, and it's just something I thought was cool. And then going back to the outer hardware, there is a 120 unidirectional bezel, and then a sapphire crystal. And then behind the case, there is a screw down case back and all of this gives you 200 meters of water resistance. For lume, we've got a lumed pip and then applied lume on all of the indices and the hands, and true to Seiko fashion, lume is fantastic. It's really second to none. I mean, you're gonna find some slightly better, but you really can't go wrong with Seiko lume. It's gonna be super bright, maybe even too bright at the beginning of the night, and then it'll just be a nice soft glow up until you wake up in the morning. As far as bezel operation goes, it's fantastic. Now, considering my new standard for bezel operation is the Tudor Black Bay, I will say that I think it's lacking considering how much it costs. I think for a $1,000 Seiko, it operates the same as a $300 Seiko. That's not to say that a $300 Seiko is bad, they are fantastic, but functionally they feel exactly the same. And for the crown, you do have a screw down crown with the coin edged texturing, and that's fantastic. It's very easy to grip and very easy to screw in and out. The threading is done exceptionally well, machined to a high standard, so you're not gonna have any issues cross threading. And then taking a closer look at the screw down case back, this is one of my all-time favorite case backs. As you know from my previous reviews, I love non-display case backs, so closed case backs, the one that's just solid metal, you can't see through them, because number one, I just think it looks classier, and that's my opinion, right? But I think it leaves a little bit of mystery, right? There's no gimmicky parlor tricks here, it's just straight metal case back and straight to the point, and I like that a lot. And going over the finishing, just like with the lume, it's really second to none. They have mastered the art of brushed finishing and polished finishing, and it all ties together exceptionally well. I will tell you, with the stainless steel bezel insert and then the steel tone exterior, all of that in the right light is stunning, and you can just sit back on a park bench and enjoy everything about this watch. It is absolutely beautiful. Now, for me, the biggest question when it comes to higher end Seikos, so $1,000 and above, is the price worth what you're getting? Is the juice worth the squeeze? Now, for me, I am a huge Seiko fanboy, so I think I can honestly say my opinion is going to be biased. So with a biased opinion, I'm gonna tell you, yes, I do think it is worth the squeeze or worth the cost, and let me explain to you why. So I've been doing a lot of physical activities wearing the Steelmaster over the last couple of weeks, and one thing I've noticed is Seiko has pretty much mastered the art of case design when it comes to comfort. I noticed this first with my Turtle, and it holds true with the Steelmaster. So their cases are beveled on the top, but they're also beveled on the bottom. So what it creates is this 90-degree angle that just sits perfectly on your wrist, especially when you're doing any kind of pressing or pulling. It just compensates for those actions very well. And so overall, it is an extremely pleasant wrist watching experience. So, you know, fault them for whatever minor QC issues they have, but comfort is definitely one of their strong points. All right, it's looking like the weather today is really good. It's still pretty cold, but you know, it's manageable. So I think there's no better way to try out the Steelmaster, or any watch for that matter, on a hike. So I'm going to take the family out to one of the nearby nature preserves, and I'm going to bring you guys with me. So let's go ahead and get going. Bet you didn't think I owned a Chrysler Pacifica, one of the sexiest vehicles a man can own. And why did I even put this footage here? Did I do it just to increase the length of the video? No, Simucom, say it isn't so.
Alright guys, so we started our hike, and as you can see, I've got an extra passenger on my shoulder. But one thing I've noticed right away with the Steelmaster is really just how easily it disappears on the wrist. So this watch is not small by any means. It's actually quite substantial, especially if you are one that prefers a smaller watch. But with that being said, with the beveled underside and the phenomenal bracelet It really, again, it's just a joy to wear. So definitely proving its worth on this little hiking excursion. Another thing I want to mention is how beautiful this watch gleams in the sunlight. Really in any kind of light, but it just shines outside. So this is one watch that definitely begs to be taken outdoors. So I guess the plus side is if you're a desk diver, it's really going to motivate you to go out and do some outdoor activities. All right, so we've been out here in the outdoors for a little bit, and I think I've established a reasonable opinion or an educated opinion on how the Steelmaster operates out and about doing things. You know, nothing crazy, right? We're not talking about Navy SEALs here, but we're talking about a normal person like you or I, just going about their day-to-day, every once in a while doing an outdoor activity. And like I said before, I'll tell you, this thing just disappears. As far as the case design, I'm gonna say that this is probably one of the best shapes, or comfortable shapes that I've ever experienced. Another thing I wanna mention is how easy it is to read the information on your dial. Looking at the indices and the hands, all of it just pops out at you effectively. So it's very easy to read at any angle and at any time of day.
So I guess I've been fortunate enough to have experienced Seiko quality control issues, but to the point where all of them have been minor. They have been very easily repairable issues that I can fix on my own in the comfort of my own home. For example, bezel inserts. And actually, now that I think about it, bezel insert issues have been the only quality control issues that I have experienced. And so with that being said, that is an extremely easy thing to resolve. Now the counter argument to that is, why do I have to fix it if I'm spending over $400? I mean, honestly, for me, if I'm spending over $200, I should get everything that is advertised in the pictures. There should be no issues. So I can understand the frustrations coming from a non-Seiko fanatic, someone who is more practical and someone who has realistic expectations of getting what is promised. So to those people, I can't really convince you that it is worth it. I can just tell you that if you do get it, you're getting so much more than just the minor issue of a bezel insert being misaligned. In this case, for the Steelmaster, it's sort of like a, are you going to forsake an entire forest just because of one tree? And you know, you might not agree with that analogy, but that's how I see it when it comes to the SPB185. And I think another reason why I'm more willing to forgive this watch is because I knew coming into the purchase that there was going to be a reasonable expectation that something was going to be wrong with it. And that in and of itself is really inexcusable for a watch company. But I don't know what to tell you, man. Like, it's like going into a relationship with somebody that you know is gonna be trouble, but god damn it, they just look so good that you don't even care. You're gonna deal with the headache anyways. And that's sort of how it is for me with the Seiko. But unlike going out with a crazy person, this is a very easy fix, and it took me all of a couple hours waiting for the solvent to break off the adhesive to adjust the bezel insert. And you know, now I've got it aligned good enough to where it's not driving my OCD up the wall. Another argument that I will have, or defense for the watch that makes it worth the cost, is you're gonna see countless people out there modding their own Seikos to basically get the same exact thing as the Steelmaster. So they're gonna buy their own OEM case, their own crystals, their own bezel inserts, to get the SPB185 without spending $1,000 plus to get one. But then you look at the total cost and it comes to around $300 to $400, maybe $500 depending on the country and you know which shop they purchase their parts from. So when you think about it, you know, $400 is not that far off from $1,000 when you think about all the time and labor you've got to put in to waiting for all the separate parts to come in, to putting it together without screwing it up royally. And so when you think about it to that end, there are a lot of extra steps that you need to take in order to get this final result. And so thinking about all those extra steps, Seiko has done all those extra steps for you already. And that's done by other workers. So workers that require, an hourly income or annual salary, they require health insurance. They also have to pay for manufacturing costs and, paying for the factory and all these other costs. And then when you also think about that into the total cost of the Steelmaster, it's really a pretty good deal. So really, I'm just trying to play devil's advocate here. As a biased Seiko fanboy, I'm trying to defend the hefty price tag on the Steelmaster for not getting a perfect product. And really, at the end of the day, it's up to you. What is your comfort level? What are you willing to risk with that amount of money? For me, the overall look and knowing that I was getting an original, albeit a misaligned original, but original nonetheless, is worth it to me. Plus, I just love fixing minor things on watches. It's very relaxing to me. So for me personally, I've got no issue taking apart the bezel insert and realigning it because I love tinkering with stuff. So that pretty much wraps up my thoughts. I think you can tell that I will personally recommend this watch to the people who are willing to put in the work and they don't mind doing that. But if you're somebody who is expecting a perfect product from the very beginning, which is perfectly okay, that's actually what most people should expect, I would say hold off on it and maybe even find one secondhand, maybe from somebody like me who has already fixed theirs. But buying it brand new, I would say hold off. But all in all, it's been a blast. I absolutely love wearing my Steelmaster. It is a joy to wear and it looks so good that it's easy for me to forgive an imperfection such as a bezel misalignment. So thanks so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed my review and my insight or my point of view. And again, if you haven't already, follow me on Instagram and get your name put in the drawing for the next giveaway. I think this is going to be a fantastic giveaway because it's just a great watch and it'll be my first slightly more expensive giveaway. So, it's such a joy being able to pass on a great watch to my viewers or other watch enthusiasts. So anyways, that's all I got to say for now. I hope you guys tune in to the next episode and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.